Okay. Hi, I'm Zach, and I believe that if guns are banned, it would reduce crimes, or just have gun control. So, for example, a 6-year-old child on his birthday shot his friends in the neck because he couldn't tell if it was a real or fake gun. And I think you should have a safety lock on the gun, so if your parents need to use it, they have like a lock to unlock it, so these won't happen. Most crimes happen because of handguns, and police counted all the crimes that happened in a year with handguns, and about 11 to 12,000 people die with handguns, and if you ban handguns, it won't, because let's say somebody's gonna go rob a bank and have a handgun or any kind of gun. If we ban it, it would be a lot harder for them to rob the bank. There's been a lot of incidents where people killed other people with guns on accidents, and this won't ever happen because it's just taking somebody's life on accident just with the gun. And if you take the gun away, this will barely ever happen. Thank you. Nobody needs to carry an Uzi, a TEC-9, or an AK-47 because there would be no reason for owning one. They can't be used for sporting activities because they're not designed for sporting activities such as hunting. And you should only the guns for Army there should only be guns for the Army and not for anything else. So, in conclusion, I think you should have a safety lock on guns, so kids won't shoot each other on accident, and so it would be a lot more safe. It would be a lot more, secure.
Hi, today we will be debating about if guns should be banned or not. My team is on the side of guns should be banned. Should not be banned, my bad. My first point is based on animal population. If guns were banned, then the animal population would increase because we would have a limited supply of weapons to use. Guns are easier because you have a better aim versus, let's say, a knife or an arrow. My second point is, if guns are banned, then almost 80% of the U.S. citizens will be almost defenseless to any kind of physical harm or non-physical harm like burglary. My third point is, if guns were banned, then criminals would be stronger towards innocent people. Therefore, more criminals would have to go to jail. But once the jails are full, the government will have no choice but to build more jails and prisons, or just simply set free criminals and innocent people's lives. To sum up my argument, guns should not be banned because it would increase animal population, innocent citizens will be almost defenseless, and more jails and criminals will be built, and more jails and prisons will be built, and criminals will be set free.
quicker.
Be quick.
So they say that people would be almost defenseless, but I refuse because if people can call the police and the government could take care of that problem if any incidents happen. They say they say that crimes are caused by people, not guns. But I refuse because guns are put into the wrong hands. Let's say if a gun is put into a youngster's hand, they would feel the power of the gun, which leads them toward crime. Once jails are overcrowded, they would put criminals back into innocent people's lives, which means the death penalty. And
You said that if a gun would be placed into a youngster's hands, then he or she will have a better idea of what a criminal is. Well, first of all, why would a gun be placed into a youngster's hands? And if it's small, it wouldn't know what a gun is. And if it so happened to shoot somebody, it would be an accident. It wouldn't be on purpose.
because people would find guns illegally, and they would end up finding guns, and the guns are placed into youngsters' hands. So it happened in a high school in California because a kid happened to have a gun placed in his hand, or finding the gun, and it leads him toward crime. So in conclusion, they should ban the penalty. They should ban the guns so people are not leading toward crime. Okay. I think that we should not ban guns because some people like to use guns for their own protection. Like if somebody will break into your house and will try to steal your stuff, you can use the gun to protect yourself if they try to hurt you. And some people also like to use guns for hunting, so it can affect their lives and their pastimes like they like to do. And even if we did ban guns, it wouldn't really apply to the criminals because they're already breaking the law, so just making a new law wouldn't really, why would they follow that law? The Second Amendment gives people rights to actually have their own personal guns for protection. And if guns work, and if they wanted to confiscate them, it would almost be impossible to go all around the country and get every single gun. Some families have guns that they like to pass down from generation to generation. So if you ban guns, they could stop those kind of family traditions. In conclusion, I think that guns should not be banned because they can protect some families' traditions. Hi, my name is Fatima Fakani, and I am for the banning of guns. There's one day on January 27th, 1989, a 25-year-old man, got a gun and went to a park where kids were playing innocently, and he fired. 5 kids were killed and 17 more were injured, including a teacher. And just want you to imagine if that was your kid. How would you feel if somebody had a gun and they started firing at your kid and he died? Basically, the only function of a gun is to kill. There's really nothing else you can do with a gun other than watch it. There's really no point. Yes.
Well, you said that the only purpose for a gun is to kill. It actually is also a sport for targeting, and it's used for protection. Cops.
Why would they target? Why would they use it for target practice if they're not going to kill somebody?
It's a sport.
They kill animals for
It's a sport. It's like a bow and arrow. It's a sport.
Yeah.
Think about the
to
Hunger
kill.
Games. It's a sport.
To kill.
No, it's a
Okay,
sport.
you can say your point
You
once.
say your point, and
let
that's
her
it.
respond and
You
sit
don't
down.
argue back and forth.
Right.
Guns are legal, and the fewer people that have them, the better. So I think that's a reason that we should ban guns, because they're completely legal. A lot of people have legally gotten guns. They have guns legally. They have a license. But there have been cases in, say, the UK where people have gotten a little bit overconfident and shot at a bunch of people just because they thought something was going to happen, but nothing did happen. Nothing was going to happen because there was no criminals in that group. A ban on guns would actually reduce crime in the United States, because there are some states that have banned guns, except for licensed guns, and they banned them, and it reduced a lot of the crime in the state by, say, 70%. A lot of people can compare the violent crime statistics between the United States and countries like the UK or England that have strict gun controls with it. Banning guns would also prevent their misuse, and a lot of people do misuse guns, including kids. There was an incident in the high school in California, like Brandon said, where a kid came to school with a gun and fired on his classmates, and a lot of people died. It was called the high school massacre. In many countries, ban on gun has reduced crime rates. The U.S. it actually has an example of one of the countries that passed down a law where gun control, which is called the Brady Bill, and it brought down a lot of the crime rates. In conclusion, I think that the gun should be banned because it reduces a lot of the crime rates, and that would make everyone feel safer.
Okay. Hi, my name is Katie, and I'm for the side that banning guns would be bad. They say that guns should have safety locks, which actually I agree on, but safety locks is actually a law on the gun, not the person involved in the crime or like having a gun itself. It's just the gun. It needs a safety lock, and actually they have put safety locks on, so that's not really a problem nowadays. They also say that handguns kill people, but when actually the problem is people kill people. It's not the gun, it was the person that used it at first. Another example is less bank robberies, they said. They said that a lot of bank robberies involve guns. Well, you can take away guns completely and actually put forth taking away the Second Amendment, not being able to have armed, artillery to propose a bank robbery. But you could also use a knife or some other object. You could even use like a baseball bat if you want to, and it still wouldn't do anything. They also said that the only purpose of guns is to kill, when actually the purpose of a gun was originally made for protection, which is obviously used in armies or when you're a police and in the military and etc. Yes.
People don't use the handguns to protect, they use it to kill.
But they wouldn't just kill a person just because they obviously used it for self-defense or if they felt uncomfortable. And